What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to this channel, I post sewing tutorials every week. If you're a returning viewer, you're also welcome. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please click on the subscription button below and do not forget to turn on your notification. In this tutorial, we're going to be learning how to draft a 6 pieces blouse. We are also going to be cutting out our patterns also, and for this blouse I will be using an off shoulder neckline. That is the neckline I want to use for this blouse. So first things first, I'm going to mark my vertical measurement, which includes my shoulder line, which is at the apex of this paper, my shoulder to bust, which is 11 inches, my shoulder to under bust is 15 inches, and my shoulder to waist is 18 inches. For the front, my shoulder to waist for the front is 18, while for the back it is 16. This is absolutely normal, and we are going to be using a bust dart to regulate the differences. And the full length is 27 inches. The first thing I will do is to take my neck width measurement, and I am going to be using standard neck width of 3 inches. I would alter this later on to have my desired off shoulder neckline. Then I'll connect it 1 inch below the armhole line over there. Then afterwards, I'm going to put in my chest line, which is my bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5. You could also use You could also divide your round armhole by 2. Both methods work effectively. Thereafter, I would mark half of the bust span measurement, which is 8 divided by 2. You need to take yours in order to know the accurate measurement rather. Afterwards, I will take in my darts along the waistline. For the darts, I'm using 0.75 inches on both sides, giving a total of 1.5. You could also use half inch on both sides, but using 0.75 inches gives a much more fitting along the waist area. You could try it if you haven't tried it before and let me know your experience with it. So I would connect my dart legs 1 inch before my bust point line. Remember I told us that I would be using an off shoulder for this blouse, and I want an off shoulder neck depth of 5.5 inches. You could use 6, you could use 4, depending on how much bust you want to reveal. Thereafter, I would mark half inch of my shoulder slant and then connect it to my bust point. We are going to be doing our under bust tightening on this region. Then I'll go ahead and apply my horizontal measurements. The first measurement I'll be applying is my bust measurement on my chest line, which is 10 inches. A quarter of my bust measurement is 10 inches. I'll also go ahead and apply my waist measurements, including the dart allowance that I am taking in. So it is 9.25 plus 1.5, giving a total of 10.75 inches. I'll connect from my bust measurement to my waist measurement. I have a slanted feature over there because for this person, the difference between the bust and the waist is not much, and also because I am using 1.5 inches for the dart. But by the time I sew in the dart and complete the entire blouse, it's going to give a very nice fitting along the waist area, and I'll be glad to show us. Next thing is to extend the measurement to the hip area. Cutter of the hip measurement I am working with is 11.5, and I will connect it together. Afterwards, I'll go ahead and do my under the bust tightening. I'll be using a cutter of my under bust, which is 8.5. I would mark it over there and then measure out what I have left from that point to the edge of my line, which is 2 inches. I'll divide 2 inches by 2 and spread the measurement on both sides of my panels. So I'll be taking 1 inch on this side and 1 inch on the other side. This is the perfect way to achieve an under the bust tightening. It works perfectly, trust me, and I'm going to show you the effects. Next thing is to carry out the over the bust tightening. I am also using 0.75 inches on both sides. I would come up by 1 inch on my bust point area and then connect the dart legs together. I came up by 1 inch over there in order to achieve easiness along the bust point. Then I would extend my dart legs to my hip area, mark 4 inches from the center front, go up by 2 inches and connect from my underbust line. Afterwards, I'm going to achieve my neck width. For my neck width, I am using the across chest measurement of 12 inches. Divided by 2 is 6. And since I'm using a dart of 1.5, so it will be 6 plus 1.5, giving a total of 7.5 inches. I'll go ahead and mark 7.5 inches on that line over there. You could also take out 2 inches from your shoulder measurement. Anyone depends, anyone works depending on what you want to do. On my chest line, I'm going to be taking note of the darts I would be losing. I'll add it back over there and connect it to my underbust line. It is very important to take note of whatever measurements you would be losing so that your measurements would be accurate at the end of the day. Then I'll connect my armhole. For the neckline, I am choosing a sweetheart neckline and I want a depth of 0.75. This person doesn't want a bust region to be revealed too much, which is quite okay. Now for the bust dart, I'll be putting in the difference between my front half length and the back half length, which is 2 inches. If yours is 1 inch, mark 1 inch below the bust point. If yours is 1.5, mark 1.5 below the bust point line and connect it to the bust region. Then I'll go ahead and show us how to cut out your dart perfectly so that you do not cut into your patterns. It is very important to be careful when you're cutting out your darts so you don't cut into your patterns. Also, label your panels so that you know which is which when you're cutting. Now, to close the bust dart, grab your tape, pick that end of the dart leg and make sure it aligns with the upper end of the dart legs and close it and secure it with a tape. And that is all about closing a dart. When you do it that way, be rest assured that your front would normalize with the back. Pretty simple, right? Yeah, very easy. Now for the back, I've marked my chest line, my waistline, my hip line. I'm also using 1.5 inches for that. That's for the back, and then the neck depth is also 5.5 inches also. I'll go ahead and apply the horizontal measurement just like I did for the front. 10 inches for the bust, 10.75 inches for the waist, 11.5 inches for the hip, and connect them together. Also, for the dart region, I would mark half of that line over there plus half inches to get a slant line. It's always beautiful when it is slanted. I will be taking half inches on both sides, which is a total of 1 inch for the dart, and connect it to the dart over there. Then for the chest, for the neck depth, neck width rather, it's also 6 inches plus 1 inch dart allowance, and then I will draw the arm hole. Always remember to include your dart allowances. For the neck depth of the back, I'll come down by 2 inches from the center back and then connect with my pattern master. I want it to be slightly curved, so I'm going to curve it out with the pattern master also. I intended on applying my zip allowance on my fabric, but since I'm still spreading, I want to apply it on my patterns. To prevent bulginess along the zip area, go in by ½ inch on the waistline, then connect from the neckline, which I am extending to my zipper allowance. So you're connecting from the apex of your zip all the way down to the waist, and from the waist all the way down to the hip area. The part I am shading would be taken out. That measurement I took out over there, I would have to compensate for it on my waistline in order to prevent my measurement from not aligning. So I'll add back the half inches and connect to my waistline. Moving on to spreading the patterns, I'm starting with my center back. I have extended my hemline and placed my center back on a separate pattern paper. I am spreading by 3 inches. You could spread by 4, by 5, depending on how much spread you want. But I believe the lesser the better because you are spreading all the panels. So the lesser you spread, the better. And then you would also connect from your waistline to that point where you already marked. and then you cut out just as I am doing here. Be careful to cut out perfectly and not cut into your patterns. You should have something like this when you're done cutting out. So the next panel we are going to be spreading is the center back panel. For the center back, I am only spreading along the part whereby I took out my dart. I am not spreading along the zipper allowance. So I have extended the hem line and I am spreading by 3 inches and I am connecting from the waistline. This is very important. You must connect from your waistline and you are not spreading along the zipper allowance. Please take note. Do not spread along the zipper allowance. Thank you. If you do that, you are creating an entirely different style. So spread from the part where the dart was taken out. I would repeat the same procedure for the center front because I am cutting the center front on fold and I am spreading by 3 inches along the hem. I'll connect from my waistline, very, very important, and not from the underbust line. Please, to get a nice fitting, connect from your waistline. You should have something like this when you're done. The next pattern to be spread is the side front. For the side front, we are spreading on both sides and I am also spreading by 3 inches because I want my panels to have a uniform spread. So I'm using the same measurements to spread and I am connecting from the waistline. So you should have something like this when you spread, and at the end of the day when you're done, you should have something like this: the center front, center back, side back. In order to prevent that pointiness along the edges of your panels, all you have to do is to come up by 1 inch or 1.5 inches from that edge and then draw a curve to the hem line. You could even use your free hand to create the curve. That shaded part would be taken out. So this is all for drafting the patterns for a 6 pieces blouse. My next tutorial would be about cutting on fabric and sewing, and I would be willing to share. So stick to my channel and I'll wait the next